Just one night I will get you all you want. An elderly man promises a young lady who insulted him in public said he cannot satisfy woman on bed. But before anything happened, something strange occurred. Mr. Samson took her to his bedroom. But before the story began, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting stories like this one. In the village of Odomodo in West Ari, there was a young girl named Lindia. She was just 23 years old, and she liked wearing shiny clothes that showed her body. Many boys and young men wanted her, but she always laughed at them. She said, "If you don't have money, car, and a strong chest, please don't talk to me." But Lindia didn't just stop there. She also liked to insult older men. One of the men she always insulted was Mr. Samson, a calm old man in the village. Mr. Samson was 67 years old. He didn't talk too much, but people respected him. He wore his old native clothes and sold yams in the market. His wife had died 15 years ago, and he never remarried. One Saturday morning, Mr. Samson was selling his yams in the big market when Linda passed by. She was wearing a short red gown. "Good morning, beautiful daughter," Mr. Samson said with a smile. Lindia stopped and turned to look at him. "Who is your daughter?" she shouted. People in the market turned to watch. Mr. Samson was shocked. He did not expect her to shout. "I was just greeting you, my child," he said quietly. Lindia laughed loudly and shouted again, "Old man, don't greet me like that again. You're too old to talk to someone like me. You think I will follow you home? Can you even satisfy a woman like me on bed?" People looked at each other. Some started to whisper. Some laughed. Mr. Samson shaking his head slowly. He said nothing. He picked up a yam, placed it back gently and leave. After that market incident, everyone in Odomodo village heard the story. "Did you hear what Lindia told Mr. Samson?" People whispered. "She said he cannot satisfy a woman. She disgraced the man in front of everybody." Some people were angry. Mr. Samson didn't say a word. But something began to happen. After that day, the old man stopped selling yams. He stayed indoors for days. His friends visited him, but he only smiled and said, "I'm fine, I just need rest." Meanwhile, Lindia kept enjoying life. Young men with money were buying her drinks, food, and wigs. One gave her a phone. Another promised her a trip to London. She laughed with her friends and said, "That old man is still hiding his head. I finished him." 2 weeks later, a black jeep entered the village. The car was shiny and clean. It stopped in front of Mr. Samson's house. From the car came out a tall, dark-skinned man in suit and glasses. His name was Engineer Philip, Mr. Samson's son from Lagos. He had not been to the village in years. Philip entered his father's compound with 2 security men and a woman. Villagers gathered to watching them. Philip came to see his father and said, "Papa, pack your things. You are going to the city with me." "Why?" Mr. Samson asked. Philip said, "I want you to live better. The people here don't know who you really are." What people in the village did not know was that Mr. Samson was a retired military general. He had served in the army for 35 years. He had once led soldiers in battle, saved villages, and trained officers. After retiring, he moved to the quiet village to rest. He sold yams to stay active. He never showed off. But inside his house were medals, pictures with presidents, and letters of honor. Linda never knew this. After Mr. Samson left with his son, people started to say, "Surprise? That old man was a general. We didn't know." But Lindia kept enjoying her life. She now dated a rich boy called Pedro, who always smoked and wore gold chains. He used to drive fast in the village and shout at people. One night, Pedro and Lindia were returning from a party. Pedro was drunk. He said he wanted to go to the bush path to urinate. Lindia followed him. That night, something terrible happened. Thieves attacked them. Pedro ran away and left Lindia behind. They stole Lindia's bag, slapped her face, and tore her dress. A motorcyclist later helped her home. She cried and cried. The next morning, Pedro blocked her number. She tried calling him again. He never answered. Her friends started to avoid her. The girl who once mocked others now sat in her mother's small kitchen, wearing old clothes and looking sad. 1 month later, Mr. Samson came back to the village in the same jeep, but this time he wasn't alone. He had returned with his new wife. Yes, Mr. Samson, the man Lindia mocked, got married in Lagos to a 35-year-old nurse named Amaka. She was respectful, beautiful, and well-behaved. She loved him truly and cared for him. When they stepped out of the jeep together, Lindia saw them. When she saw the new wife, her mouth opened wide. Wait, he married her? Lindia asked herself. The next market day, Mr. Samson and his wife walked through the market peacefully. People greeted them with smiles and respect. Lindia wanted the ground to open and swallow her. A week later, Mr. Samson was invited to speak at the town hall. He spoke gently, like a father. He told the story of respect, how one should not judge others, and how humility is better than pride. As he stepped outside, he saw Lindia sitting outside. Her head was down. Mr. Samson looked at her, and his eyes were kind. "I came to say sorry," Lindia said, "for the way I talked to you. I was wrong. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know your heart." Mr. Samson nodded and said, "It's not about who I am, my daughter. Even if I was a poor man, you shouldn't have spoken that way. Your beauty is fine, but your heart must be finer." Lindia's eyes filled with tears. From that day, Lindia changed. She started helping her mother with cooking and cleaning. One day, she walked up to Mr. Samson and said, "Sir, accept my apology." Mr. Samson looked at her for a long time and smiled. "That's a good." After Lindia's apology and change of heart, the people of Otomoto village started seeing her differently. She was no longer the proud girl who wore flashy clothes and insulted old men. She became quiet, calm, and respectful. But in her heart, Lindia was not at peace. She had a dream. She wanted to go back to school. Her mates were already learning in the city, and many were almost graduating. She wanted to be a nurse. But there was no money. Her mother was poor. Her father had died many years back. Her younger siblings still needed food. Every time Lindia thought about school, her eyes filled with tears. One afternoon, she was walking back from the stream when she saw Mr. Samson sitting under his mango tree, reading a book. She meets him again. "Good afternoon, sir," she greeted. "My daughter, how are you today?" he asked kindly. "I'm fine," she said. "But sir, I want to go back to school," she said. "I want to become a nurse. But we have no money at home. I tried applying for help, but nobody answered." Mr. Samson looked at her for a while. Then he said slowly, "You have truly changed, Lindia. I see it, and I believe in second chances. But tell me something. If I agree to help you, will you keep your promise and work hard?" Lindia nodded quickly. "Yes, sir. I will not waste the chance." "I will pay your school fees," he said. "I will buy you all the textbooks, clothes, and even help your mother with a little cash. But there is one condition." Lindia's smile slowly faded. "What condition, sir?" she asked, her voice shaking. Mr. Samson told her. "Can you spend just one night with me?" Lindia's eyes widened. She stepped back slowly. "Sir, what did you say?" "One night," he repeated. "Just tonight. My wife has traveled for a church program. She won't be back until next week." Lindia agreed and left. That night, Lindia could not sleep. She turned on her mat again and again. Her mind was full of thoughts. "He said just one night," she said to herself. "But he's a married man and old." Then she thought of her dreams, nursing school, city life, a new future. "But if I say no, what if no one ever helps me again?" Tears fell from her eyes. She felt confused, trapped, and lost. In the dark, she whispered a prayer. "God, please show me what to do." By midnight, she stood outside Mr. Samson's house. She had worn a simple short red gown and held a small bag. The gate was not locked. She pushed it open and walked inside room. Mr. Samson sat on the chair waiting. He looked at her without smiling. "You came," he said. Lindia stood, shaking, near the wall. "I don't know if this is right." He stood and walked to her. "You will get your school fees tomorrow morning," he said. "Just one night." Lindia closed her eyes. But just before anything happened, something strange occurred. Mr. Samson took her to the bedroom and took off her cloth. The girl started shouting for help. Watch out in part 2 for the remaining part of this story. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Tell us where you are watching from.